Okay, so we're here with Istvan, who's done some great work with the International Center for Democratic Transitions. I guess my first question, I mean, you're dreaming pretty big with this project. What about this idea inspired you to create this?
First of all, I was always thinking about doing something very different in education and to go beyond the limits of traditional education methods. We have to be honest that nowadays, I mean, the world has changed, the curriculum has changed, but the methods they remain the same, most of them. So we can do better than this and push the limits and make the education better for the actual life of people. And the One World Learning attempts to meet this challenge and be something innovative, something new that breaks with the blackboard homework and the normal classroom
Right,
environment.
right. Why do you feel that young people are so crucial in terms of, development of communities in the future?
This age group, so between 14 and 18 years, they already have a very comprehensive world view. They already know a lot about the world, but they are still curious and very open for new inputs. And we would like to address this age group specifically because they are before a very important decision. Very soon they have to decide about their career, and this will determine their future entirely. And this is probably an experience that will influence their decision. And if we influence them in the right way, then it will also have an effect on the community they belong to.
Your project obviously emphasizes, education across cultural and ethnic lines. Why do you think that type of education is so important?
We will never be able to understand, for example, a Kenyan person, but we can be aware of this fact that they are different, and we shouldn't rely on misinterpreted information or stigmatize them because something that we don't know. So it's more like an awareness raising because we can't really teach the Hungarians how to understand Kenyans. We can teach them that they are different. You have to be aware of this fact.
Right. What were the students' initial reactions to interacting with radically different cultures? I mean, was there any tension at first?
We expected that they will emphasize the differences between them, but actually they were really surprised of the many similarities they have. They were very curious, and the atmosphere was really friendly. We were afraid that they will have some distance. I
Right.
mean, distance
Yeah.
in this environment. But no, they were like friends from the very first moment.
Were there any discussions that the students had that surprised you or that you maybe didn't really expect?
Actually, the very first session was extremely interesting. We didn't plan anything for them, just to show them the room and tell them that next week you will talk in this room in this environment. At the end, we stayed about 2 hours, and the teachers didn't really have time to talk to each other because the students were so fascinated and began to introduce themselves without any external interaction. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. We were afraid of stage fright or language problems, nothing like this. So this was an interesting example of discussion.
What role do you think, increased technology and social media and things like that will play in promoting understanding and education across cultural lines in the future?
I think this cultural exchange was always present through the history. It's more about the pace of information exchange and the availability of our virtual network of friends. Because I have my network right in my pocket, but we don't really know how to use this thing, this our virtual self, and we have to learn it. And the problem emerges when our real life and our virtual life are coming closer to each other. This will influence, of course, our society, and we have to be ready to understand it. But we also should consider that our virtual self is like an infant. We don't really know what are the rules in this world. We have to grow up. We have to discover the limits.
What's your vision for this project going forward? What's next for you guys?
Uh, Now, after closing this pilot project, we would like to start the One Word Learning program that will cover at least 6 semesters and multiple schools in multiple countries. Because it's also interesting to organize something for teachers, just discussions, debating groups. My personal vision is to use this technology in conflict areas for people who are not focusing on culture differences, rather on something very specific, a conflict. So using this technology in a secondary school environment for alternative conflict resolution.